Welcome to our deep dive into AI. We've got a whole bunch of reports about AI's impact, and they're full of statistics. So
Yeah,
get ready to become an expert because we're going to dive deep into AI's 2024 report card.
I think it's fascinating how AI is influencing just about everything.
Okay, so let's kick things off with embodied AI.
Uh,
Um, the robots,
yeah.
at the start of 2024, everyone was hyped about robots. Was it all it was cracked up to be?
Well, we haven't quite reached C3PO level androids just yet, but there was a huge surge in funding for robotic startups,
Okay.
like Figure AI getting a massive $675 million round.
Wow.
And some of this was driven by the success of things like ChatGPT.
So where did all that money go? What kind of progress do we actually see?
Well, humanoid robots are definitely having a moment. The Unitree G1 made a big splash because it's relatively affordable at $16,000.
Oh, wow.
And Boston Dynamics released a new fully electric version of their Atlas robot. And then there's the whole teleoperation trend with Agility Robotics actually snagging the industry's first commercial contract.
Oh, wow. That's a big step.
It is.
What about the AI brains behind all these robots? Any big leaps forward there?
We saw some interesting stuff with robotics foundation models like Covariance RFM1, which is being used for warehouse picking,
Okay.
and OpenAI and Figure AI. They even showed off a humanoid robot tackling household chores.
Wait, a robot that can do laundry. Where can I get one?
Well, hold on. Even Physical Intelligence, this startup that raised a whopping $400 million, their laundry robots are still under 90% successful. So maybe we're hitting a plateau in AI performance.
So it sounds like progress, but a long way to go.
Exactly. And it's interesting, while these general purpose robots are still in development, specialized systems are actually making real strides. Like Waymo, their robo-taxi user base has hit 100,000 miles per week. That's a serious comeback for autonomous vehicles.
So progress on both ends.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about robotics investments overall?
The total investment in robotic startups actually recovered, but the number of deals went down, which means investors are putting their money on fewer but bigger players.
So does that mean less innovation or?
It's hard to say. It raises some interesting questions about the future of robotics. Will specialized systems end up dominating? Or will we finally see that dream of a general-purpose robot come true?
Okay, let's move on to something that affects everyone who shops online reviews.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we've all been there.
Yeah.
You find the perfect product, but then you start wondering, are these glowing reviews actually legit?
Right. It's a valid concern, especially because, according to a Reputation.com survey, online reviews are more influential now than even company marketing or advice from friends.
Wow, so how bad is the problem?
Well, the Transparency Company, they analyzed over 73 million reviews, and guess what? Nearly 14% were likely fake.
Oh no.
And a big chunk of those were AI generated, which is why the FTC is cracking down hard on fake reviews. They're even hitting companies with civil penalties.
Yikes. So how do we protect ourselves? Any tips for spotting a fake review?
A few things. Look out for super enthusiastic language or overly negative language, too. And watch out for jargon and buzzwords that get repeated over and over. And it's always a good idea to check out the reviewer's profile. Does it seem real?
Okay, good advice.
Hmm.
So let's jump ahead to 2025. Picture this. Your virtual assistant suggests hiking boots for a trip you've never even mentioned. Is that convenient or kind of creepy?
Well, that's where AI-powered retail is headed. By 2025, AI is predicted to handle 20% of all e-commerce tasks.
Wow.
Hyper-personalization is the name of the game, with AI assistants making recommendations that are so accurate it can feel a little spooky.
So basically, we're all going to be getting those hiking boot suggestions whether we want them or not.
Maybe.
But how are businesses using this hyper-personalization?
92% of businesses are already using AI for personalization, and 69% plan to invest even more because AI recommendations can boost their conversion rates by as much as 15%
Wow.
and average order values by 3%.
So it's a win-win for businesses.
Yeah, pretty much. It means a 15% profit increase for retailers and 20% less spent on marketing.
So that sounds great for the businesses. But what about the shoppers? Is everybody comfortable with AI knowing so much about what they buy and what they like?
Yeah, that's the big question. Data privacy is going to become even more important as AI gets better at predicting what we want. And then there's the issue of AI bias. If the data used to train these systems is biased, then it's just going to reinforce inequalities in the retail world.
Right. And let's not forget about the potential for more fraud as AI becomes more central to e-commerce.
Absolutely. It's a double-edged sword.
Okay. Next up, let's talk about software development. What if coding wasn't just for developers anymore? AI tools are making it easier for anyone to code. So is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's definitely shaking things up. Anthropic reported a 1,000% increase in revenue for their Claude AI assistant, and a lot of that is because of its coding capabilities.
Wow, a 1,000% increase.
Yeah, and it's not just Anthropic, OpenAI, Google, Meta. They're all racing to build the best AI coding assistants. This kind of rapid innovation is really pushing the boundaries, but it also makes you wonder what happens to developers in a world where everyone can code.
Right, yeah. Does everyone become a developer?
Well, it's not that simple. AI isn't replacing developers. It's more like it's giving them superpowers. Tools like Claude can handle the routine coding tasks, which frees up developers to focus on the more complex and creative stuff.
So it's more of a partnership.
Exactly. Think of AI as a developer's best friend. And there are some real benefits. GitLab reported productivity improvements of 25–50% when they started using Claude. And Gartner predicts that by 2028, 75% of enterprise software engineers will be using AI code assistants.
That's amazing.
Okay.
But are there any downsides?
Of course. We have to be mindful of the potential security risks of AI-generated code and make sure that code quality doesn't suffer. Human oversight is still crucial.
Now let's step into the world of digital twins. These are virtual models that give us real-time insights into complex systems. Think of airlines optimizing their flight schedules, or military commanders tracking battlefields.
Yeah, the global digital twin market is expected to reach a massive $259.32 billion by 2032.
Wow, that's incredible. So how are digital twins being used today?
Well, for example, airlines are using AI to adjust their flight schedules in response to things like weather changes.
Okay.
They use digital twins to get accurate real-time data, which helps prevent AI errors. And the military is using digital twins to track troop movements and potential threats, with AI helping to identify patterns and risks.
So in these high-stakes situations, AI is helping people make better decisions by enhancing their situational awareness.
Exactly.
But can we fully rely on AI to make critical decisions for us in these scenarios?
That's where human oversight is still so important. While AI can analyze tons of data and offer valuable insights, it can't replace human intuition, especially in situations that are unpredictable.
Okay, now let's talk about dynamic pricing. Ever notice how the price of something in your online shopping cart seems to change all the time?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's AI-driven dynamic pricing at work.
Amazon makes something like 2.5 million price changes every single day.
Every day.
Yeah, that's like every 10 minutes for each product.
Yeah.
They're using algorithms to track demand, competition, even localized conditions to adjust prices in real time.
So it's like a constant pricing roller coaster.
Yeah, pretty much.
But why are retailers so focused on this dynamic pricing? What's the benefit for them?
It helps them stay competitive and maximize their profits. They can react to changes in the market instantly and always offer the most appealing prices while still optimizing their profit margins.
Okay, but what about the shoppers? Is it always a negative thing for them?
It's not always bad. Savvy shoppers who keep an eye on the price changes can actually snag some amazing deals.
Okay.
But 56% of Americans think dynamic pricing for concert tickets is unfair. And that feeling could easily extend to other products.
Right. Those constantly fluctuating prices can feel manipulative and unpredictable.
Exactly. Transparency is key. Retailers need to be upfront about their dynamic pricing practices and give consumers the information they need to make informed decisions.
Okay, so Google recently unveiled their Gemini 2.0 model with flash thinking, which is designed to explain its reasoning process step by step.
Right. It's like AI is learning to think out loud.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how does this flash thinking actually work?
It uses something called chain of thought reasoning, which breaks down complex problems into smaller steps.
Okay.
And it explains each step so users can follow along. Gemini 2.0 can also handle multimodal inputs, which means it can process both text and images.
So it's a model that can reason, explain its thinking, and work with different types of input. That's a pretty big leap forward for AI.
It is, and it's in direct competition with OpenAI's O1 reasoning model. So the AI reasoning race is definitely heating up.
Competition breeds innovation.
Yeah.
Speaking of OpenAI, they've been hinting at their next-gen reasoning models, O3 and O3 Mini, and they're promising some big advancements in problem solving.
O3 has already been crushing benchmarks. It's actually beating human performance on some tests.
Wow. What kind of tests?
Well, it got a score of 87.5% on the ARC AGI benchmark, which is higher than the human threshold of 85%. And it got a near-perfect score on the 2024 American Mathematical Olympiad.
Okay, so it's a math whiz. What else can it do?
It also excels at coding. It got a pro-level rating on Code Forces. But what's really interesting is that OpenAI is focusing on something called deliberative alignment, which basically means they're teaching the model to consider safety guidelines before taking any action.
That's reassuring because safety is definitely a concern with these powerful AI systems. Is this O3 model available for everyone to use yet?
Not yet. It's still being tested, but OpenAI is accepting applications from external researchers who want to get access.
Okay. Now let's switch gears and talk about fertile AI. They're using AI to revolutionize fertility care.
Right.
This is an area where AI has the potential to make a real difference in people's lives.
The global fertility services market is huge. It's projected to reach nearly $48 billion by 2030, and Fertile AI just secured a $4.5 million seed funding round, which shows there's a lot of interest in their approach.
So how are they using AI to improve fertility care?
Well, their Fertilane platform integrates with clinic EMRs, which gives doctors access to tailored treatment plans and super precise clinical insights.
Okay.
This can help improve success rates and reduce costs for patients, which are two big factors in fertility treatment.
That's great news for people struggling with infertility. Are there any specific examples of how AI is making an impact in this area?
A study in Nature Medicine found that deep learning AI is actually 10 times faster than embryologists at assessing embryos for IVF,
Wow.
and just as effective.
That's amazing. So much faster and just as accurate.
Yeah, and Fertile AI also has a mobile app which is designed to improve communication between clinics and patients.
Oh, that's great because communication is so important during the fertility journey. Okay, now let's talk about AI in the world of scientific discovery. It's becoming more than just a tool. It's really transforming how we make new discoveries.
It's a game changer. In fact, 2024 was the first year the Nobel Prize in Physics recognized the impact of AI on science. It went to the pioneers of machine learning.
So AI is getting recognized at the highest levels of science. What are some examples of these AI-powered discoveries?
Well, AI helped researchers decipher ancient scrolls that were carbonized by Mount Vesuvius.
Wow.
We're talking about texts that have been hidden for almost 2,000 years.
That's incredible.
And there's a Vesuvius challenge where a student recently won $40,000 for deciphering the first word from one of these scrolls using AI.
So AI is bringing history back to life.
It is. It's also helping us decode the communication of sperm whales by using machine learning to analyze thousands of their click sequences.
Wow. So we're starting to understand what these incredible creatures are saying to each other.
Ex-
And those are just a couple of examples. AI is accelerating breakthroughs in so many fields like archaeology, biology, and even medicine. It's becoming a real superpower for scientists.
Absolutely. It's helping us find new archaeological sites, solve protein folding challenges, and even develop new drugs.
It's really amazing.
Yeah.
So as AI becomes even more powerful, what does that mean for the future of scientific discovery? Will AI be our collaborator or our competitor?
That's the big question.
Will AI help us solve the biggest challenges? Or will it surpass human capabilities and lead us to a future where machines are driving scientific breakthroughs?
This is something to think about.
And that's where we'll pick up in part 2 of our deep dive. We'll be exploring more fascinating AI developments and what they mean for the future. Stay tuned.
We left off talking about AI understanding human emotions. It's fascinating, but also a bit unsettling.
It's like something out of science fiction, but it's really happening. The global emotion AI market is expected to reach $13.8 billion by 2032.
Yeah, that's a huge jump from $1.8 billion in 2022. Advancements in AI, machine learning, and biometrics are fueling that growth.
Those technologies are giving AI the ability to read and interpret human emotions, and it's already being used in several industries.
Like OCBC Bank. They use an AI chat assistant named Emma that handles about 30% of customer inquiries.
So an AI that not only understands your questions, but also senses your frustration or impatience?
Exactly.
That could totally change customer service.
And it's happening in entertainment, too. There's a video game called Nevermind that uses AI to detect players' emotions through their webcam and microphone.
Oh, wow. So it adapts to your fear and anxiety as you play.
Exactly. It creates a really immersive experience.
That's next level gaming. Okay, so what about healthcare?
Researchers at Stanford developed an algorithm called Care Measure Pain that can rate pain levels just by analyzing videos of patients' facial expressions.
Wow. So that's a game changer for pain management, especially for people who can't easily express their pain verbally.
Exactly. It could lead to more accurate diagnoses and more effective treatments.
It's incredible how diverse and impactful emotion AI is becoming. But how do these AI systems actually learn to understand human emotions?
They're trained on huge data sets of facial expressions, vocal intonations, and even physiological responses.
So it's like teaching AI to read our body language and vocal cues.
Right. And as those data sets grow larger and more diverse, AI gets better and better at recognizing and interpreting
It's
emotions.
almost like AI is developing its own emotional intelligence.
In a way, it is. And as that intelligence grows, it opens up the potential for AI to connect with humans on a much deeper level.
But that idea might make some people uncomfortable, right? Machine sensing and maybe even manipulating our emotions.
It's a valid concern. Like any powerful technology, it can be misused. But let's focus on the positive applications. For example, imagine an AI therapist that could truly empathize with your struggles.
That would be incredibly helpful for people who don't have access to traditional therapy or who feel more comfortable talking to an AI.
Exactly. And it could also assist human therapists by providing insights and recommendations based on the patient's emotional state.
Or think about AI companions for the elderly. They could provide both physical assistance and emotional support, which would be amazing for combating loneliness.
Those are just a few examples of how emotion AI could really enhance human well-being.
But we can't ignore the ethical concerns.
Definitely. We need to be very careful about how we develop and use this technology.
We have to make sure that these systems are used responsibly and ethically.
Absolutely. For instance, we need to make sure that they don't perpetuate biases or discriminate against certain groups of people.
And transparency is crucial. We need to be open about how these systems work and how they're being used.
Exactly. It's important to remember that AI should never replace genuine human connection and empathy.
It's a tool to enhance our relationships, not to replace them.
Right.
Now let's talk about a company that's pushing the boundaries of emotion AI anti-PCX.
They're developing customizable digital humans that can express really realistic emotions.
So imagine interacting with an AI that not only understands your words, but also reacts to your emotions with facial expressions, body language, and tone of voice that feels truly human.
That's Antiance's vision. They're using the Unreal Engine 5 platform, which is known for its stunning visual realism.
So these digital humans not only sound human, but they look incredibly realistic too.
Exactly. And what's really interesting about Antiance is the level of control that users have. You can customize everything from their appearance to their personality to their emotional responses.
So you can basically create a digital human that's tailored to your specific needs and preferences.
That's the idea. Whether you need a customer service rep, a virtual therapist, or just a companion, Antiansix gives you the power to design the perfect AI for you.
It's mind-blowing. So how are these digital humans created? What's the process like?
Well, it starts with a vast library of pre-built components. Users can choose from a variety of facial features, body types, voices, and personalities.
It's like building a digital human from a set of building blocks.
Exactly. And then Anti-X uses advanced machine learning to train these digital humans to respond to human emotions in a realistic way.
So they're not just following a script. They're actually learning to adapt and react to human emotions.
That's what makes them so lifelike. It's like they're genuinely responding to you.
It's easy to forget that you're interacting with an AI. It feels so real.
It's really blurring the lines between the real and the virtual, and it raises some interesting questions about the future of human-machine interaction.
As these systems become more emotionally intelligent, will they challenge our understanding of what it means to be human?
That's a big question. And it's not just about these digital humans. We've talked about how emotion AI could change customer service, entertainment, and healthcare, but what about its impact on society as a whole?
Right. What are the broader implications?
Some experts believe that emotion AI could help us build more empathetic and understanding relationships with each other.
Imagine if AI could help us bridge cultural divides and create a more compassionate and harmonious world.
It sounds idealistic, but it's not impossible.
But there are also potential risks that we need to be aware of.
As emotion AI becomes more sophisticated, it could be used to manipulate people's emotions.
That's why it's so important to develop ethical guidelines and regulations for this technology.
We need to make sure that it's used to empower people, not to control or deceive them.
It's a delicate balance, but it's essential if we want to harness the full potential of this technology.
Ultimately, technology is a reflection of ourselves.
And the choices we make about how we develop and use AI will shape the world we create.
Will it be a world of empathy, understanding, and connection?
Or a world of manipulation, division, and distrust?
The future is in our hands. It's up to us to decide what kind of legacy we leave behind. Now let's lighten things up a bit and talk about a topic that always seems to spark debate: dynamic pricing.
You mean those ever-changing prices that seem to follow us everywhere online?
Exactly. Remember how we talked about Amazon making 2.5 million price adjustments every day?
Yeah, that was mind-blowing.
Well, it shows just how pervasive dynamic pricing has become in e-commerce. But Amazon isn't the only one doing it.
So who else is using this AI-driven pricing strategy?
Walmart Canada is another big player. They use dynamic pricing to stay competitive with Amazon. And then you have companies like Wayfair and Best Buy. They're all using AI to adjust prices in real time based on factors like demand, competition, even the weather.
So basically, it's all about maximizing profits and staying ahead of the game.
Pretty much.
But how does this constant price fluctuation affect shoppers? Is it really fair?
That's a big question that's causing a lot of discussion. Some people argue that dynamic pricing gives retailers an unfair advantage over consumers.
Especially when you consider that 56% of Americans think dynamic pricing for concert tickets is unfair. I can see how that sentiment would extend to other products.
Right. But some people argue that dynamic pricing can actually benefit consumers by leading to lower prices overall.
How so?
Because if retailers are adjusting prices based on demand, they might be more likely to offer discounts and promotions to try and attract customers.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's a complex issue with valid arguments on both sides.
It is. It really comes down to transparency and consumer awareness.
Consumers need to know that dynamic pricing exists and how it works.
And retailers need to be upfront about their pricing practices and make sure they're not being deceptive.
It's about finding a balance that works for both sides.
Dynamic pricing is here to stay, but it's our responsibility to make sure that it's used ethically. Now let's move on to something a bit more technical, but equally fascinating. Google's Gemini 2.0 model with flash thinking.
We were talking earlier about AI learning to think out loud and explain its reasoning. That's exactly what Gemini 2.0 is designed to do.
Exactly. It's Google's latest AI reasoning model, and it's pretty impressive.
It seems like transparency and trust are key with this model.
They are. By showing its work, Gemini 2.0 aims to help users understand how it arrives at its conclusions.
That's so important as AI becomes more integrated into our lives. We need to be able to trust that these systems are making decisions fairly and logically.
Absolutely.
So how does Gemini 2.0 achieve this transparency?
It uses something called chain of thought reasoning, which breaks down complex problems into smaller, more manageable steps.
Okay.
And then it explains each step in a way that humans can understand.
So it's like having an AI tutor guide you through the entire thought process.
Exactly. And what's really cool is that Gemini 2.0 can handle multimodal inputs, which means it can process both text and images.
Wow, so it's not just about understanding language. It can actually analyze visual information and incorporate that into its reasoning.
Right. It's not just about solving problems. It's also about helping us understand how AI works.
By making its reasoning process transparent, Gemini 2.0 aims to demystify AI and build trust between humans and machines.
It's a crucial step in the evolution of AI as we move towards a future where humans and AI work together.
And Google isn't the only one making progress in this area. OpenAI is right there with them with their O3 and O3 mini models.
Right. Remember those impressive benchmarks we talked about earlier? O3 is truly breaking new ground.
It's exceeding human performance on some of the toughest AI tests out there.
And OpenAI is focusing on something called deliberative alignment, which is basically teaching O3 to think about safety guidelines before taking any action.
So it's not just about making AI smarter. It's about making it safer and more aligned with human values.
Exactly.
As AI continues to evolve, it's crucial that we consider the ethical implications.
Absolutely. We need to make sure that AI is used to empower humans, not to harm or control them.
It's a responsibility that we all share. Okay, let's switch gears for a moment and talk about online reviews.
Okay.
They can be so helpful when we're trying to make decisions, but they can also be incredibly misleading, especially with the rise of AI-generated content.
It's becoming harder and harder to tell the difference between a genuine review and a fake one.
And that's a problem because online reviews are more influential than ever.
According to a study by the Transparency Company, nearly 14% of the 73 million reviews they analyzed were likely fake, and a significant portion of those were AI-generated.
So it's a pretty widespread problem, and it's only going to get worse as AI technology advances.
Right. So what can we do about it?
How do we protect ourselves from being misled by fake reviews?
Well, we need to be more critical of what we read online. Don't just take reviews at face value. Look for red flags like overly enthusiastic or negative language.
Okay, what else?
Be wary of reviews that sound generic or repetitive, and always check the reviewer's profile. Does it seem legitimate?
Good advice. So it's really up to us as consumers to be vigilant and discerning.
It is. And we also need to demand more transparency from platforms like Amazon and Yelp. They need to do more to combat fake reviews and make sure that their review systems are trustworthy.
It's a collective effort. We all have a role to play in making sure that online reviews remain a valuable resource for consumers.
Okay, Let's shift gears again and talk about a technology that's often portrayed as futuristic: digital twins.
Digital twins are virtual models that provide real-time insights into complex systems.
Think airplanes, cities, entire power grids.
Exactly.
Imagine being able to simulate and analyze those systems with incredible accuracy, predicting potential problems and optimizing performance. That's the power of digital twins, and they're already being used in a wide range of industries.
But what's really fascinating is how generative AI is enhancing this technology.
It's true. It's not just about passive monitoring anymore. Generative AI is allowing digital twins to be proactive, offering insights and recommendations that can help us make better decisions.
That's amazing. So, for example, you could have an AI-powered digital twin of a city that helps urban planners optimize traffic flow, reduce pollution, and improve public safety.
Exactly. Or a digital twin of a human body that helps doctors diagnose diseases earlier and personalize treatment plans.
The possibilities are incredible. But this technology is still evolving, right?
It is. And there are some challenges that need to be addressed.
Like what?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is data integration. Digital twins rely on massive amounts of data from a variety of sources.
Right.
And making sure that all of that data is accurate, consistent, and up to date can be really tricky.
And there are also concerns about security and privacy.
Definitely. Digital twins contain sensitive information about critical systems, so we need to make sure that that information is protected from cyber attacks and misuse.
So there are some valid concerns, but the potential benefits are huge.
Absolutely. Digital twins have the power to revolutionize how we design, build, and manage complex systems.
And as generative AI continues to advance, we can expect even more exciting developments in this area. It's definitely a technology to keep an eye on.
Now, let's take a look at a company that's using AI to tackle a very specific challenge: fertile AI.
They're using AI to revolutionize fertility care.
Right, and it's a field that's ripe for innovation. The global fertility services market is expected to reach almost $48 billion by 2030.
Fertile AI is definitely at the forefront of this trend. They recently secured a $4.5 million seed funding round.
Their key innovation is their Fertilane platform, which integrates seamlessly with clinic electronic medical records, or EMRs.
Okay, so what does that mean for doctors and patients?
It means that doctors have access to AI-powered insights that can help them make better decisions about patient care, such as...
Well, for example, Fertilane can help doctors determine the best embryo transfer timing, personalize stimulation protocols, and even track ovulation more accurately.
And that can lead to higher success rates and lower costs for patients, which are two major concerns in fertility treatment.
Exactly.
It's great to see a company using AI to address such a personal and sensitive issue.
It really shows the potential of this technology to make a real difference in people's lives.
Now let's talk about AI's potential to become science's new superpower.
Okay.
From deciphering ancient scrolls to unraveling the mysteries of the deep sea, AI is already making incredible contributions to scientific discovery.
Absolutely.
And it's only going to get more impressive as AI technology continues to evolve.
So let's take a look back at some of the most impressive AI-powered scientific achievements of 2024. Remember those ancient scrolls that were carbonized by the eruption of Mount Vesuvius?
Yeah.
AI is helping researchers virtually unroll those fragile documents, revealing texts that have been hidden for almost 2,000 years.
It's like we're bringing history back to life.
It really is. And there's even a Vesuvius challenge with substantial prizes for anyone who can successfully decipher portions of these scrolls using AI.
It's amazing to think that AI is helping us uncover the hidden stories of our past. But it's not just ancient history.
Right, what else?
AI is also helping us decode the complex communication systems of animals. For example, researchers used machine learning to analyze thousands of sperm whale codas.
Their clicks and whistles.
Exactly. And their analysis revealed sophisticated structures, suggesting that sperm whales might have a much more intricate language than we previously thought.
So we're starting to understand what these amazing creatures are saying to each other.
And who knows, maybe one day we'll even be able to communicate with them.
That would be incredible.
Huh.
And it's not just archaeology and marine biology that are benefiting from AI. It's driving breakthroughs in fields like astronomy and medicine.
It's true. AI is being used to find new archaeological sites, solve protein folding challenges in biology, and even develop new drugs.
It's really becoming an essential tool for scientists in all sorts of disciplines.
AI is playing a central role in a new scientific renaissance.
So as AI becomes even more powerful, what does that mean for the future of scientific discovery?
That's a great question.
Will it become our collaborator or our competitor?
Will AI help us solve the biggest challenges facing humanity, or will it surpass our capabilities and lead to a future where machines are the ones making groundbreaking discoveries?
It's something we definitely need to consider as we move forward.
The future of science and the future of AI are inextricably linked, and it's up to us to shape that future responsibly and ethically.
Well, that concludes part 2 of our deep dive into AI, but we're not finished yet. Stay tuned for part 3, where we'll explore even more fascinating AI developments and what they mean for the future of humanity. Welcome back to the deep dive. It's been quite a journey exploring AI, hasn't it?
It really has. We've covered so much ground, from those robots and online reviews to ancient scrolls and those mind-blowing AI models,
Yeah.
but we saved one of the most thought-provoking topics for last: AI and emotions.
Can AI really understand and respond to our feelings? And if so, what does that mean for us as humans?
Well, it's important to remember that AI doesn't experience emotions the way we do.
Right.
They don't have consciousness or the biological basis for feelings like humans do, but they can learn to recognize patterns in human behavior and respond in a way that feels empathetic.
So that's the goal of emotional AI or empathetic AI.
Exactly. And it's a field that's advancing rapidly. Remember those statistics about the growth of the emotion AI market? It's projected to be a $13.8 billion industry by 2032.
Wow. So this technology is definitely gaining momentum.
Yeah.
But let's move beyond the numbers. How is emotional AI being used in the real world?
Well, we're already seeing it in customer service. AI chatbots are being trained to detect and respond to customer frustration or impatience.
So imagine a chatbot that can sense your anxiety during a technical support call and adjust its approach to calm you down.
Exactly. That's the kind of personalized and empathetic experience that emotional AI can provide.
And it's not just limited to customer service. We're also seeing applications in healthcare, particularly mental health.
Think about AI-powered digital therapists that can offer support and guidance tailored to a patient's emotional state.
Or AI companions for the elderly that can offer not just physical assistance, but also emotional support.
Right. It could be really helpful for combating loneliness.
These are just a few examples of how emotional AI could be used to improve people's lives. But like any powerful technology, there are potential risks and ethical concerns that we need to consider.
Absolutely. One concern is the possibility of misuse or manipulation. If AI systems can understand and respond to our emotions, could they also be used to exploit them?
That's a scary thought. Imagine an AI-powered advertising system that targets ads based on your emotional vulnerabilities, or an AI-powered political campaign that uses emotional targeting to influence voters.
Those are definitely scenarios we need to be aware of and guard against as emotional AI becomes more sophisticated.
Another concern is the potential for bias. If the data used to train these AI systems is biased, then they could end up perpetuating existing societal biases.
Right. Imagine an AI hiring system that unintentionally discriminates against candidates based on their emotional expressions
No.
simply because the AI was trained on data that reflects those biases.
So it's crucial to make sure that the data used to train these systems is diverse, representative, and free from harmful biases.
We also need to have clear ethical guidelines and regulations in place to govern the development and use of emotional AI.
That makes sense. We need to prioritize transparency, accountability, and user privacy, and make sure that these systems are used to empower humans, not to control or manipulate them.
It's a delicate balance, but it's essential if we want to harness the full potential of emotional AI for good.
Okay, let's talk about a company that's really pushing the boundaries of emotional AI, Anti-Fits.
They're developing these customizable digital humans that are capable of incredibly realistic emotional expressions.
I remember those demos we saw. The way those digital humans reacted to human emotions with nuanced facial expressions, body language, and tone of voice, it was really impressive.
They really blurred the lines between the real and the virtual. It felt like you were interacting with a real person.
And the level of customization that Anti-X offers is pretty amazing. Users can customize everything from the digital human's appearance and personality to its emotional responses.
So you can essentially design an AI companion that perfectly matches your needs and preferences.
Whether you need a customer service rep, a virtual therapist, or just a companion, Anti-X lets you design the ideal AI for you.
It's a glimpse into a future where AI goes beyond simply processing information and starts connecting with humans on a deeper, more emotional level.
It's both exciting and a bit unsettling to think about all the possibilities.
It really is. And it raises some really important questions about what it means to be human in a world where AI is becoming increasingly sophisticated.
Well, that brings our deep dive into the world of AI to a close. We've explored so much from the hype surrounding robots to the ethical complexities of emotional AI.
It's clear that AI is a powerful force that will continue to shape our world.
We need to approach it with both enthusiasm and caution, embracing its potential for good while remaining mindful of the risks and ethical challenges.
The future of AI is ultimately in our hands. We have the responsibility to guide its development and ensure that it's used to benefit all of humanity.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. What were your biggest takeaways? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Stay tuned for more fascinating explorations of AI and the world around us.